Wilson sets up and spinning around to the back of the end zone. Sutton. And Cortland Sutton did not, they say, get both feet down.
Good coach Joe Flacco really likes it. 2nd and 5. Open man, Njoku. He could go. Touchdown. Second of the day. Wyatt Teller. So you think it's a run, but it's a pass. And Jerome Ford steps up and picks up a rusher. The running back 34.
Russell Wilson very quickly found his new team. After he was released by the Broncos, Wilson announced on social media on Sunday night that he was signing with the Steelers. It became official on Wednesday when the new year began. The contract will be 1 year and the league minimum $1.4 million. Because the Broncos had such a huge cap hit of $85 million, the Steelers did not need to sign him to a big contract. The Broncos will pay Wilson $38 million, while the Steelers will only have to pay $1.4 million. Wilson had a forgetful 2-year run with the Broncos and was eventually released. The 35-year-old quarterback had a dreadful year 1 with Denver after the Broncos traded 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a 2022 5th-round pick, and 3 players, which were quarterback Drew Lock, defensive end Shelby Harris, and tight end Noah Fant. He was also awarded a massive extension before even playing a snap with the Broncos. First season with Wilson under center in the Mile High City, the Broncos went 5-12. The 9-time Pro Bowler struggled and threw 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 3,524 passing yards, and an 84.4 passer rating. Since the season was rough for the Broncos, they fired head coach Nathaniel Hackett and brought in Super Bowl winning head coach Sean Payton. Payton was hired to fix Wilson, and he did in a way. In 2023, Wilson threw 26 touchdowns, 3,070 passing yards, a 66.4 completion percentage, and only 8 picks. However, despite Wilson improving, they decided to move on from him despite having a record cap hit of $85 million. Before Pickett was traded to the Eagles, Wilson was expected to compete with third-year quarterback Kenny Pickett for the QB1 position. Pickett struggled last season and almost threw just as many interceptions as touchdowns. The Steelers were obviously serious about things changing when they lost to the Bills. Before Wilson signed with the Steelers, the Wisconsin product visited the Giants as well, but obviously liked Pittsburgh better. After he was released, the Broncos allowed Wilson to negotiate with other teams. The Russell Wilson trade will likely go down as the worst trade in NFL history. In other NFL news, Joe Flacco will be playing football again in 2024. The reigning comeback player of the year will not be suiting up for the Browns, though. Instead, Flacco will be playing for the Colts. According to reports, the contract is 1 year for $8.4 million. Adam Schefter of ESPN first reported that $4.5 million is guaranteed. Last season, Flacco was signed by the Browns in November to their practice squad, but 2 weeks later, he signed to their active roster. When Deshaun Watson went down with a season-ending shoulder injury, Flacco came in and helped lead the Browns to the playoffs. He went 4-1 as the starter and threw 13 touchdowns, 1,616 passing yards, and a QBR of 90.2. The Super Bowl 47 MVP spent 11 seasons with the Ravens. He was then traded to the Denver Broncos, where he played for 1 season. He also spent time with the Jets and Eagles before signing with the Browns. The Colts will be his 6th team. The 39-year-old quarterback will be the backup to Anthony Richardson, who is expected to return by week 1 after having season-ending shoulder injury. Last season, the Colts had Gardner Minshew as their backup, and he started 13 games. However, the Washington State product ended up signing with the Raiders, so the Colts needed to find a high-end backup. The Colts last season missed the playoffs for the 3rd straight year.
Wilson sets up and spinning around to the back of the end zone. Sutton. And Cortland Sutton did not, they say, get both feet down.
Good coach Joe Flacco really likes it. 2nd and 5. Open man, Njoku. He could go. Touchdown. Second of the day. Wyatt Teller. So you think it's a run, but it's a pass. And Jerome Ford steps up and picks up a rusher. The running back 34.